Hi, welcome to the channel English Professionally. Glad to see you. So how are you? I hope that you are doing well. So we are ready to start. This video or video course, as you see, is 35 gerund verbs. So it's very important. So there are some verbs in English when you need to use ing, not to. And I really hope it's a great idea if you know this full list or this great list of English verbs when you need to use ing, and we'll also cover some difficult aspects which you also need to keep in mind. Okay, so I really hope that you'll support the idea of this video if it's like that. So, and really I really hope you'll enjoy this video. This topic is extremely important. So students make mistakes again and again, so it's a real pity. You just need to know this list of verbs, and I prepared 35 gerund verbs for you. Well, and you need to understand when we should use to or ing. Okay, for example, which sentence is correct and why? Right. So I enjoy to learn English, yeah, and I enjoy learning English. Okay, so which sentence is correct? Who knows? So first of all, you need to enlarge your vocabulary to make your vocabulary larger, and we have a list on English words. Please have a look. You need to translate this word, yeah. So enjoy means really like. So I really like it, I really like English, yeah. So enjoy or I really like. And you also need to understand that we say enjoy doing something, so this sentence is incorrect. Well, you know that you want to speak English very well. In other words, you want to speak English fluently and correctly, without mistakes. If you want to speak English correctly, you need to understand. So why we say this or that thing, yeah? And so, enjoy doing something, yeah? We'll also have a look at, this phrase in our video course, and much more phrases. So you see, I enjoy learning English. It's just because of this. So enjoy doing. And students often say it incorrectly. So I enjoy to learn, and they don't realize that they just need to know these rules. And I think really it's a great idea that we decided to focus on grammar, not just for beginners but for high levels. So I mean pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and even advanced levels. Okay, good, well done. Okay, so, and you need to know English verbs after which we use ing. Well, if there are two verbs, yeah, we usually separate it with to. So it's a typical structure. It's a typical structure. Like here, look, I want to do it. I want to do it, okay? So if there are two verbs, so we usually put to between them or in the middle, okay? I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to learn English. I want, to learn English fast, okay? I want to learn English fast. So don't forget to put to. So you can't say I want to learn, it's incorrect. So you need to use to learn. Well, and we call it infinitive. To do, to learn. So we call it an infinitive. An infinitive. Well, let me give you one more example. You see, I went there to buy a very good present. Okay? So you see, to buy is also an infinitive. So what is an infinitive? Okay? So the general understanding of this term is that it's to plus verb. to plus verb. Okay, so I went there to buy a very good present. So you can't say I went there buying or buy. So to buy, yeah. So you need to put to. I went there to buy a very good present, and you need to understand it's in infinitive. Or look, she asked me to help her. To help her. So it isn't, why to, really, why to? So it isn't about present simple, past simple, so we don't use these forms, and you see just a verb, and you need to use to buy, to help. Yeah, she asked me to help her. I decided to learn English. Well, but, there are some verbs, and we use ing after these verbs. Yeah, you know that we talked about enjoy, and that's true about love too. We say love doing something. Love doing something, okay? So I love doing it. I love doing it. I love, you say I love teaching English. I love teaching English. Or I enjoy teaching English, okay? Or I enjoy teaching English. Anyway, so you use ing. We say love doing something and enjoy doing something. Okay. Well, so I think really it's time to have a look at this list, but just, I'd like to give you some more explanations before we start doing it. I also think it's very important. Look, love doing, and that's also true about hate. So we say hate doing something, hate doing. So I love doing it, and I hate making mistakes. And it's so funny sometimes when students say, I hate doing mistakes, yeah, and when they say so, they don't realize that they make a mistake again, right? So yeah, that's true that we say hate doing something, but you need to understand when we use make and do. So there are some phrases. So we say do homework but make mistakes. And the correct way of saying it in English is making mistakes. I hate making mistakes. Really, I hate making mistakes, and I want you to speak English without mistakes at all. I want you to speak English confidently. Yeah, I want you to feel absolutely sure that your English is perfect, is very good. So why not? I think that there is nothing wrong about it, so it's a good idea. Really? I hope so. Really? Let's study it in context. Look, I love teaching English. So really, that's true, and I hope that's clear. So I love teaching English. It's my passion. Yeah? My passion means I really like it. Unfortunately, I have no time. So I don't give real lessons. Yeah, I mean that I just teach English on YouTube. So I don't give real lessons, but I can record these lessons for you when I have free time, and I think it's okay that if I upload these lessons regularly. Well, what about like? What about like? It's also an interesting thing. So you can hear I like doing and like to do. You can hear like doing and like to do. So what should we use? I like to learn English, or I like learning English. There is, actually, there is a big difference, or there is a small difference anyway. So this difference exists, it takes place, and I'd like you to pay attention to this difference. Well, you say like doing something if you really like it, if you really like it, if you really like it. So if you really enjoy it, so if you really enjoy, so it brings lots of pleasure, it's it's full of positive things. Well, and you say like to do if it's okay. So if it's okay, if it's a habit, so it's okay for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you really enjoy doing so, that it's your greatest hobby, it's your greatest passion? No, it doesn't necessarily mean so. Just okay, it's okay, I do it. Yeah, so this actually structure is stronger. So like doing is stronger. And when you talk about your hobby, so I think it's a good idea for you to use like doing. So I really like learning English. I really like spending time with my friends. So it's really okay. And like to do. Well, please look at these two examples. I like playing chess. You know that I'm quite a good chess player. I played chess professionally when I was a kid and a teenager. But then actually I stopped doing it, or let me use a phrasal verb, I gave it up. I gave up playing chess when I was 15. Yeah. But anyway, I think it can develop our analytical abilities, and well, we need to do something. Just, I really hate it when I do nothing. So I really like to be busy. Okay, I really like to be busy. So if I'm busy, it's okay, but I don't like wasting time. So it's a terrible thing for me. All right, so I like playing chess and I like to be on time. So if you say I like to be on time, it's okay, it's normal for me, but it isn't what I really enjoy. Well, okay, and there is one more a very important thing, and unfortunately there is little information about it. So you need to understand this rule to avoid making mistakes again and again. I mean, connected with our subject, gerund and infinitive. Look, so I'm tired of doing it. Okay, so sometimes you can say, for example, or for instance, I'm tired of doing it, or I'm tired to do it. I often say, I'm tired to do it, and they don't understand why they should use I'm tired of doing it. So there is a rule, and I also think it's a good idea for you to have a look at our video, 99 mistakes for, intermediate students, and we covered this subject there. So there is a rule. So if there is a preposition not to, so if there is a preposition not to, so not to, okay, not to, okay, I'll correct it, don't worry, I see that I need to do it. Okay, so if there is a preposition not to, and there is a verb after it, so you need to add ing. It's a rule, okay? So for example, I'm tired of, so you know that we need to use of after tired of something. Okay, I'm tired of, or maybe, yeah, okay, so I'm tired of, so we need to use this preposition. Then you understand that this preposition isn't to, and there is a verb do, and you need to use ing. And you say, I'm tired of doing it, so I'm tired of, going to work, I'm tired of, repeating it, or something like that, okay? Well, so the next example, I'm interested in jogging. The same situation, but jogging actually, interested in something. So I'm interested in jogging, or you can say I'm interested in playing tennis. I'm interested in jogging. I'm interested in playing tennis. So you see that we use ing again. So interested in, and then you understand that there is a verb play. Yeah, so this preposition isn't to, and you use ing. I'm interested in playing tennis. So yeah, right, and that's also true not only about, these dependent prepositions. We call it dependent preposition because these prepositions depend on this or that adjective. You see, I'm fond of, yeah, fond of, yeah, you see it's another preposition, not to, listen plus ing. I'm fond of listening classical music. It means you really enjoy doing it. Or keen on, it also means you like it, keen on doing. That's also true about phrasal verbs, okay? So I can say that I gave up teaching I give up teaching mathematics. So you know that I had this experience. But I stopped doing it, or you know, in other words, yeah. So I'm thinking about phrasal verbs and words. Okay, so in other words, I give up doing it. So I give up teaching English. And students often ask me, so why should we use ing? So you don't need just to memorize things. You don't need just to remember them. You need to understand how to build English phrases, how to form them. You need to understand how to build English sentences. It's so easy, and that's why we are here. That's what we are doing right now. And we have this rule, yeah. So if there is another preposition, not to, yeah. So give up, and there is a verb. You need to use teaching. Yeah, I give up teaching mathematics, so I stopped doing it. Or one more phrasal verb. Yeah, have a look at our list of phrasal verbs. So I put off meeting him. I put off meeting him. So it's the same thing. So put off doing something just because of it. It's another preposition, not to. Put off means to do it later. So I decided to meet him later. Okay, well done. And so let's have a look at our list of these verbs where you need ing and which are very common. So this information is extremely important. Well, so you see, I enjoy speaking English. Yeah, it means I really like it. We say enjoy doing something, okay? Really, what do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy doing, okay? So I feel like going to the cinema. Feel like doing something means that you want to do it. You want to do it. So if you say I feel like going to the cinema, I will understand, yeah, that you want to go to the cinema. I feel like having a cup of tea, for example, or drinking a cup of tea. So next, dislike. I dislike talking. I dislike talking about that. It means I don't like talking about that. So dislike, it's one word. I dislike talking about that. Next, go on talking. Go on talking. We often use it. We often use this phrasal verb in our daily English conversation. So go on talking. Go on. Please go on. Please go on talking. So it's so interesting. So it really, very common. And carry on. Carry on doing it. Don't stop. But this thing concerns all phrasal verbs. Yeah, we talked about this rule. So please try to remember it. I hope that you'll keep in mind. But I just decided to include these very common phrasal verbs, very common ones. So next, I finish working very late. Okay, so finish doing. I finish working very late. I give up smoking. So it's the same situation, yeah? So there is another preposition, not to, and use ing. I gave up smoking or I stopped smoking. To tell you the truth, I have never smoked in my life. So do you think it's true or not? Don't put off doing it. Don't put off doing it. Okay, it's the same thing. It's a phrasal verb. It means don't delay it. Don't delay. Yeah, don't delay or postpone. Postpone. No, usually, yeah, I would say postpone. Okay, postpone. Okay, don't postpone it. So don't do it later. Do it now. So there is another preposition, not to, so we use ing after this verb. So it's a very simple rule. So that I think that you need to understand this rule. It's a real miracle. It's a real miracle. It's a real phenomenon. It's so simple. That people say that usually simple things are usually it's something genius things. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, and you don't need actually to be a genius to understand this thing, but it's so useful. It's extremely useful. Okay, I suggest going to the park. So the next very common mistake. So people say suggest to, but not. Suggest going to the park, yeah? I suggest going to the park. I suggest going to the cinema. Do you fancy drinking a cup of tea? So fancy doing, it means do you want to drink a cup of tea? Do you want to drink a cup of tea? Next, I consider living abroad. Consider doing, it means that I think about it, and so I think really about it, and maybe it's a good idea, maybe not, so I need to take a decision. I imagine living in California. Okay, imagine doing, so it's in my imagination, so I imagine speaking English completely fluently. Yeah, so it's really good aim, it's a really good aim, so why not? So you need to do something to achieve this aim. Well, I recommend visiting this place. So I recommend visiting this place. So I recommend watching all these lessons so you can do it again and again and to listen to them as a background. So all this information is extremely useful and you can take notes, yeah? So as you wish, so it's up to you. Next, I avoid talking about that. Avoid talking means I try not to talk about that. Avoid doing, okay? So I avoid talking about that. I try not to talk about that. Next, I missed taking that opportunity. So you say I missed that opportunity or missed doing something. I missed taking that opportunity. So I didn't take that opportunity and I could do it, but I didn't do it for some reason. Well, so deny. She denies stealing the money. So deny doing something. It means that she said that she didn't do it. She says no, okay, I didn't do it. So she denies stealing the money. Delay. So I often delay preparing for exams. It means that you often postpone it. So you think, okay, I'll do it later. So days go by or days pass, and you say it again, okay, I'll do it later, and maybe it isn't a good thing. It's better to do everything at once or everything immediately. Well, so I can't help admiring your beauty. So I can't help doing something. So it means that I really admire your beauty. It's difficult not to admire it. So she is, so beautiful that everyone admires her beauty. So it's difficult not to admire it. So I can't help or I can't stop doing it. Well, so the next two phrases are very similar. So if you see, I can't bear doing it. So can't bear or can't stand means hate, okay? So can't bear or can't stand, I can't bear doing it, or I hate doing it, I really hate doing it, okay? I hate it. Or I can't stand being criticized, yeah? So you see, it's gerund and passive voice. So I can't stand being criticized. I mean, I can't stand it when other people criticize me, yeah, especially for no reason, and especially maybe a lot or very sharply. Very sharply, it means a lot, yeah, and in a very angry way, maybe angrily, very angrily. Okay, so what is next? So yeah, I think it's good. So what we're doing is really good. Well, so they resumed talking after a short break, yeah? They resumed doing something or continue doing something. So they resumed talking after a short break. So they did it again, okay? They started talking again. Does she recall visiting this place? Recall doing or remember, yeah? Does she remember it? Does she recall visiting this place? I don't mind doing it. Yeah, we say don't mind doing something. It means it's okay for me, so I can do it, no problem. They ended up quarreling. So end up is a phrasal verb. So end up doing something. They ended up quarreling. So it means that they quarreled in the end. They discussed buying a new flat. discussed doing something? They discussed buying a new flat. So they had a discussion, and they were going to buy a new flat. So you know that they had this kind of conversation. Next. So what is next? So, will she mind changing the room? I mean, it means that, so will it be okay? So will she agree to do it? So mind doing something. So mind changing the room. Next, keep recording your lessons. It means continue doing it. So keep doing or continue doing it. Keep recording your lessons. I often practice speaking English. Practice doing. I often practice speaking English. And what do you often practice doing? Okay. I risked losing my money. Risk doing. So it means that I could lose my money. So there was such a risk. She mentioned telling the truth. So mention doing something. Okay. So you see, she mentioned telling the truth. Okay. What is next? 5 more, and then we'll have a look at some exceptions. So we postponed hiring new staff. So postpone or call off. So we decided to do it later. I admit saying it. I admit. So I think that maybe I said it. I think maybe I said it. Yeah, why not? So maybe it took place. I admit saying it. I completed typing the document. Yeah, I completed typing the document. I detest working there. It means that I don't like it. So it's formal, you know, it's formal. This word is formal. I detest working there. I don't like working there. Or resent. Resent, look, I resent doing. So I resent being criticized. It means I don't like it at all. It irritates or it annoys me. Well, and there is one more important fact. So you know that sometimes, yeah, we use ing and to, and you know, it's about the meaning. So there is no change in meaning. Look, I started playing, or I started to play. So you know that there are some verbs in English and you can use a gerund, so doing, or an infinitive like playing. Yeah, I started playing or I started to play. Now, from my experience, I can tell you that I mostly meet started doing, but anyway, you know, sometimes I meet or sometimes I come across as a phrasal verb which means meet. Sometimes I come across start to play. So I started playing or I started to play. Yeah, so it means the same. Or begin, yeah, I began to understand that. Or continue, I'll continue teaching on YouTube, yeah, and also prefer, yeah, you can say, so with ing or to, I prefer reading or I prefer to read. So with gerund or infinitive. So these, for example, verbs, they don't, yeah, we don't see a change in meaning. However, so there is a change of meaning. There is a change in meaning sometimes. So you see, it's about like, yeah, we talked about it. So I like to be on time, so it's a habit, so it's okay for you, and I like learning English, so you really enjoy doing it. Next, stop. He stopped smoking. It means that he gave up smoking. So he smoked, yeah, maybe for a year, for 2. Then he said, okay, that's enough for me. I don't want to smoke. And he stopped doing it. So he doesn't smoke, okay? And he stopped to do has another meaning. Look, he stopped to greet them. It means that he was moving, he was walking, then he stopped. So it's about a physical movement. And he greeted them. So it's another thing. Mean. So it means doing lots of work. Or it involves. It means that we need to do lots of work. It involves it. And I meant to get into that university. It means intend. So I intended to get into that university, or I wanted to get into that university. Well, try. So what about try? I tried to pass the exam. I tried to pass the exam, and I tried hitting the door. So I tried to pass the exam. It means that really there was such an effort, and I tried hitting the door. So maybe I thought it will it will open or not. And also about regret and remember. Look, it's a very important thing. So I remembered doing it, yeah. So it's about the past, yeah. First you did, then you remembered, and I remembered to do it. So first you remembered and then you did. So it's about the order. Look, I remembered doing it. I remembered doing it. So it means that first you did, then you remembered, and I remembered to do it. So first you remembered, and then you did. And also regret. I regret doing it. I regret, and so there is such a phrase as I regret to tell you that you have to leave the job. Well, so you know that this word regret sounds a bit formal, and you know that this subject is very interesting, and maybe you have some questions, so feel free to ask these questions in the comments below. And I really hope that this video English lesson isn't the worst English lesson in the world. Okay, at least let me hope so. Thank you. Bye. Pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and even advanced levels. Okay, good, well done. Okay, so, and you need to know English verbs after which we use ing. Well, if there are two verbs, yeah, we usually separate it with two. So it's a typical structure. It's a typical structure. Like here, look, I want to do it. I want to do it, okay? So if there are two verbs, so we usually put two between them or in the middle, okay? I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to learn English. I want, to learn English fast, okay? I want to learn English fast. So don't forget to put to. So you can't say I want to learn, it's incorrect. So you need to use to learn. Well, and we call it infinitive. To do, to learn. So we call it an infinitive. An infinitive. Well, let me give you one more example. You see, I went there to buy a very good present. Okay, so you see, to buy is also an infinitive. So what is an infinitive? Okay, so the general understanding of this term is that it's to plus verb. 2 plus verb. Okay, so I went there to buy a very good present. So you can't say I went there buying or buy. So to buy, yeah. So you need to put to. I went there to buy a very good present, and you need to understand it's in infinitive. Or look, she asked me to again and again, so it's a real pity. You just need to know this list of verbs, and I prepared 35 gerund verbs for you. Well, and you need to understand when we should use to or ing. Okay, for example, which sentence is correct and why? Right. So I enjoy to learn English, yeah, and I enjoy learning English. Okay, so which sentence is correct? Who knows? So first of all, you need to enlarge your vocabulary to make your vocabulary larger, and we have a list on English words. Please have a look. You need to translate this word, yeah. So enjoy means really like. So I really like it. I really like English, yeah. So enjoy or I really like. And you also need to Hi, welcome to the channel English Professionally. Glad to see you. So how are you? I hope that you are doing well. So we are ready to start. This video or video course, as you see, is 35 gerund verbs. So it's very important. So, there are some verbs in English when you need to use ing, not to. And I really hope it's a great idea if you know this full list or this great list of English verbs when you need to use ing, and we'll also cover some difficult aspects which you also need to keep in mind. Okay, so I really hope that you'll support the idea of this video and videos like that. So, and really, I really hope you'll enjoy this video. This topic is extremely important, so students make mistakes. Understand that we say enjoy doing something, so this sentence is incorrect. Well, you know that you want to speak English very well. In other words, you want to speak English fluently and correctly without mistakes. If you want to speak English correctly, you need to understand. So why we say this or that thing, and so enjoy doing something, We'll also have a look at this phrase in our video course and much more phrases. So you see, I enjoy learning English. It's just because of it. So enjoy doing. And students often say it incorrectly. So I enjoy to learn, and they don't realize that they just need to know these rules. And I think really it's a great idea that we decided to focus on grammar, not just for beginners but for high levels. So I mean,